My name is Aaron Gastyne, and I am the upper school Christian studies teacher for 12th grade. I teach apologetics. What made me interested in Christian studies specifically, yes, I do have a passion for teaching God's Word in general, but I also think there's a desperate need in our country. I think biblical literacy is very low, unfortunately. We need to learn the Word, not just learn the Word, but we need to be able to live it and grow in that as well. One of the things that I think is a unique opportunity maybe in a Christian studies class, I get to do a question of the day. I try to do something that's a little more, maybe a little more fun, maybe a little more relevant to daily life, something that the students themselves are asking about or questioning. And so I ask that, and I give them an opportunity to speak, because if we want to be an example of God's love, I'm trying to open an opportunity for them to be themselves. Before we even get to, here's the goals, here's the learning outcome that I want from you today, which is important, I want them to be known, I want them to be heard, because ultimately I think in that way they feel loved. I think my favorite thing about what I do is that moment where a student feels secure and safe enough to be themselves. It's hard to educate, it's hard to encourage when a student doesn't feel like they can bring themselves to the learning process. I love seeing a moment where a student will give an answer that's real rather than give an answer that they know I want to hear. I get to have some of those in class from time to time, and just knowing that they're ready, knowing that they're in a place where they're willing to open up that part of themselves and willing to share that. That shows me there's some willingness there to even grow and to admit that there's some things that they need to work on in their faith and in life. So those are probably my favorite moments. I want the students to see God for who He really is, because I think that's the start. I think if we see God for who He really is, we worship Him for who He really is, then we're matured, we're grown into the image of Christ, but we can sacrifice anything knowing who He is, and we can follow Him anywhere.